Okay, welcome back to Sales Training with Spence. Straight out the closed 7-level selling, where we teach you all the information you need to know to go from novice to expert to closing beast, like my friend Damon and Ian and all these folks in here, and to turn you from a seller into a closer. So, if you haven't picked up this book yet, highly recommended. The Close 7-Level Selling by Stefan Arnio. StefanArnio.com/the close. Do yourself a favor, man. Turn yourself into an expert. Alright, so today we're talking about tone training. So, whether you see it or not, it's just a fact that all the top salespeople in the world, they've mastered their tone, man. They can do it perfectly, eloquently, that you almost don't even know that they're doing it on the phone. But they do it, man. It speaks right to your subconscious mind. It turns you from a prospect into a buyer. Poor salespeople, they almost always skip over trying to master their tone. They won't take the time to do it. Majority of them are too lazy to do it or find it too hard. And that's the difference between a top performer and not a good salesman. So this one simple trick will turn you into a master. So there is hundreds of different tones that we could talk about, that we could learn, that we could try to master. But today we're going to go over the 10 most basic, the 10 first, and then first 10 you should learn as identified by Jordan Belfort as some of the most important ones. So number one is the I care tone. This is like a real I really want to know, tell me more type of tone. Generally you'd be upbeat, you'd have a lot of enthusiasm, and you'd show some genuine curiosity. Someone have an example of when they maybe use this, or what it sounds like? Any? No? Okay. Well, I know in our script we have the I care tone around the beginning as well. Also, we have it. Huh?
I can do it.
Okay, sure.
Are you
Go
looking
ahead.
for
Yeah,
an example? Spencer, what do you think about the material that you've seen so far?
Perfect. Yeah, it shows that he cares, he's genuinely interested, and most importantly, he's asking a question that wants you to explain more. He's curious. He wants to know more. So, our second tone is more declarative as a question. You raise the inflection at the end of a statement to imply a question. This forces the listener's mind to listen in, because tonally they have been asked a question, but in words they have been told a statement. Frequently it's used in the opening scripts. Hey, is this John? Hi, my name is Bill Smith. I'm calling from ABC Company in Winnipeg, Manitoba, right? You're telling them where you're from, but at the same time you're asking the question at the beginning, right? You're declaring a question. Third one is mystery/intrigue. Now, Jordan Belfort, the line he uses in a lot of his sales training videos, it is one that's like, you may recall, right? Like you may recall, and you're kind of like making them think that they do recall something, or that they should know something, and if they don't know, then they're an idiot and a fool, so they don't want to admit that they don't know it. Like, without them actually knowing the answer, they'll try to tell you that they know it, or they'll be like, yeah, of course I recall, like, because they don't want to come to you and be seen as a fool, right? This also captures their attention, because if they don't know and they say they do know, they're going to need to listen so they can know later, right? So, scarcity. So this is lowering your voice maybe just above a whisper, maybe talking about price. That's when we do it in our script. That's when I try to do it, is this bundle regularly sells for $5,183, but today, and today only, I can get you this bundle with everything included for only $199. Do you like the value? Do you like the idea of this? Of course. Of course. I almost just sold myself, man. I just went and bought that.
These are my scrap.
Do you want me to run that once, twice, 3 times?
Are we sending
Just
that
keep
to
swiping
your
until it stops
mansion?
working.
Absolute certainty. Now this one is definitely important because if you refer back to one of my other videos, we talk about standard objections and how every single objection, the only thing that an objection actually is they're not saying no, they're just not certain enough to say yes yet, right? So absolute certainty, as a salesman, you got to master this, man. You got to make them feel certain enough to give you that yes, right? It's in there. They can do it. You just got to make them feel absolutely certain enough, right? So this would be generally a firmer, more definitive tone of power and certainty from the solar plexus. It's conviction, right? I assume on you do a lot of our high ticket sales, our T3 calls, where you're getting people to throw down anywhere from 20 grand up to 70 grand, right? You definitely, I'd assume, would have to use the absolute certainty tone a lot, that this is definitely what you need and what you want and will solve your problems, right? So can you give us an example?
Yeah, you can do it on the T1 too. You can just say, you know, if you want to do this for real, if you want to make money with real estate investing, coaching is something that you're gonna need to learn or you're gonna need to do. Like, just be very certain about it. I probably am in that tone like 60% probably.
Yeah,
It's hard
exactly.
to emulate it in this meeting, but yeah.
A lot of it also when you're talking about price or maybe like their fears about spending money, right? Like when you're on a sales call, you're trying to get them to give you money for your product, especially in real estate, a field that is expensive to buy houses that you need to be comfortable getting in debt, spending money, moving money around. You got to make sure they're absolutely certain or realize that this is just the beginning, right? Like putting $100 down for a bundle today. If you can't even do that, how the hell are you going to go out and buy a house for a couple $100,000, right? Like, get your money right, man. Get your head in the right spot. This is what you need. This is the step you need to start with, right? Utter sincerity. Generally, use this maybe when you feel bad for them, or maybe when you're trying to project, you feel bad for them because maybe they're not picking up your stuff, right? Like, so it would be in this book described as velvety smooth, almost apologetic, calm, but yet confident, low pressure, and sincere at the highest possible level, right? Like they don't want to pick it up, so you got to feel their pain a little bit, right? Confident, like a feel your pain type of tone. The reasonable man. So this one's probably not too difficult to do for a lot of people. It's more of the like, I'm reasonable, you're reasonable type of tone. Why don't we kind of do this together, right? Like maybe, I don't know, maybe it's establishing common ground, maybe it's finding a relation between them or making them feel like you guys are on the same level, the same page, and that again provides them with the certainty and a good feeling along with talking to you or giving you your money. They trust you, right? I'm reasonable, you're reasonable, let's get this done. We can do it together. I'll guide you into it, but I'll also guide you out of it, right? Kind of like that type of thing. So, if you guys have examples too, feel free to say that you have an example of this. You guys have all worked here longer than me, so probably have more examples, more practice with it, right? So the hypothetical money aside, this one is in our script, like right at the beginning of the rebuttal scripts. You kind of have to give that tone. You've been looping them, you've been bringing them back, you're trying to close them, they still don't want to do it. This is more of the tone of like, yeah, well, despite all that, like I hear what you're saying, but does the idea make sense to you? Do you like the value of it? And it's kind of like, let's put money aside for a second, actually talk about the value, actually talk about what this can do for you, right? Like, forget about the price, man. Forget about the money for a bit. Let's focus on the details. Let's focus on the facts for a bit, right? Money will come and go. Let's stay where we're supposed to be, right? yeah, exactly in the book. It says, hypothetically, money aside, does the idea make sense to you?
You never say to people, money aside, though.
Yeah,
If you can't do it with your tone, then you're doing it wrong.
exactly. Implied obviousness. Now this is in our script here as well. When we're going through our first offer with the assessment bundle, you're trying to imply obviousness that they know what the wealth potentials test is already, right? Like, have you ever heard of our wealth potentials test? It's like, come on, man, how haven't you heard of it?
Mm-hmm.
It's
you have
that
that
type of
program, right?
thing. Or in the T3 script when you're trying to bring them into it and you're listing off everything. Oh, you have all those programs, right? It's like, well, no, but I should, right? Like,
You know the value of our books.
this is just establishing that it's beyond obvious that your service, your program, is a winner. The I feel your pain. So this one as well is the kind of similar to utter sincerity, but literally described in the book is complete and utter sincerity used to identify primary and secondary pain points, the Bill Clinton tone. So definitely crucial, especially when you're bringing them through the first 7 levels, maybe starting to like get down to some of their limiting beliefs, where they're at, their pain, what they want in life. Like, you got to empathize, you got to feel that pain too. You got to come down to their level for a sec, put yourself in their shoes. It's the type of I feel your pain, I am a human too. I'm not just a salesman, I'm not just trying to get your money. Like, I feel your pain, man, truly, and I actually have what you need, right? So used to identify primary and secondary pain points. Now, when it comes to selling, tonality is definitely more important than the mechanics. Don't worry about if you stumble on your words, if what words you have where, how. Worry about how they sound, what tones you're using at what point in the sentence, and learn also how each tone speaks to which part of the brain, so you can understand what type of tone you need to use and when you need to use it for an effective presentation that is ultimately going to lead your prospect to be a buyer and turn you from a seller into a closer, right? Sales training with Spence, man. Tone training. Master it if you haven't. Don't be a poor salesman. Be the top 1%, man. Take the time to master it. It's more important than the mechanics. These are the first 10 you should master.